I've almost went through it.
Who?
My dad.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Want to tell him about it?
Yeah. So I've watched my dad put a pew pew to his head twice. First time I was 16. I watched him pull the trigger, and it jammed up. When I ran out the door, screaming, I went to school. I did. I didn't know what to do.
How old were you?
16. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was freaking out. In immense panic.
How did you go to school?
I did not function that day. I can tell you that. I stayed in one of my teacher's classrooms the whole day and just kind of hid.
Did the teachers know?
Mm-mm.
Did you confess it to anybody? How did you stay in a teacher's classroom?
I just told them I wasn't feeling good that day.
And they didn't ask anything? They were just like, okay, cool. God.
Yeah. Which I'm really good at hiding emotions and stuff like that.
Right, but okay. What if
issue.
You had... That is a trauma response.
It is. And I still do.
I'm good at hiding my emotions.
I am. And I'm still like that today. It's so bad. I'm like...
No wonder we're best friends.
I know, right?
And I've always wondered that. I'm like, we have been friends for 20 years.
Yeah.
We've been friends for 20 years.
Yay!
We very rarely would hang out. Like, we would see each other. We would run each other. And we're like, yeah. But, like...
We used to hang out all the time, though, together.
We did.
We lived together.
Yeah. But then,
trauma.
like... Did you say post?
That was trauma.
That was trauma. That was in itself. Woo!
That's
trauma.
a whole different story.
Not that we inflicted on each other. No. Just that we kind of went through together.
Ooh. And then about 5 years ago, he tried to do it again.
When your parents got a divorce.
Mm-hmm. My parents were getting divorced. That time I was done. I'm an adult now.
You're an adult now. So you're an adult.
I know. I know. So I pretty much just gave him two options. Either you can have yourself admitted voluntarily, or I'll get the law involved, aka Jason, and we'll do it his way. And so Jason told him, Stephanie's giving you two options. She's the boss. You can do option 1 or option 2. My dad's like, I'll do option 1. And so we drove him down there. He was pissed. Oh, he was so mad at me for a few days. But now he understands why. He's got the help he needs. He's on the right medicines. He does his therapy. We're good. Found out a lot of the issues, too, that he's been dealing with his whole life was he has Graves' disease, which really messes with you.
What is that?
Graves' disease, it's your thyroid.
Okay.
When your thyroid is all out of whack, it messes with a bunch of stuff.
Well, and some medications too.
Yeah, and some medication.
There are medications that tell you it will increase suicidal thoughts. Why is that a medication?
Yeah, so
why are you
on that? So some of Chance's medicines at one point were that, but one of the worst ones was he was hearing voices. He started hearing voices, and he was going insane. Like, I was like, what is wrong? And he's like, the voices in my head. And I was like, we're done. Immediately went to the doctor. I was like, no.
Pouring that medicine out.
I mean, but I have to watch him because some of his medicines do have side effects of suicide. Birth controls sometimes have side effects of suicide. I have to watch Skylar because she's on them.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean,
birth control has a side effect of suicide?
Certain ones.
Really?
Yeah, it's stupid. It can cause depression.
Depression.
Depression sucks. I've my fair share. And on top of that, I'm bipolar.
You are?
I'm bipolar like my dad.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm. Ain't chance.
I would have never known that.
Not a lot of people do. Fun facts. I am bipolar.
How funny. We're learning new things about each other today.
I am. And people don't realize. Because I think I've just learned to manage and cope. Like, I can always tell, like, oh, it's going to be a bad day because
that explains.
I know it explains some things, doesn't it?
Oh, wow.
It explains a thing or two.
So there were days when we were living together where you would just be mad as hell. And I was like, why are you mad?
Bipolar.
You're like, I remember you're like, just can't take it anymore. And I was like, what? What can we not take? Next day?
Fine. Some bipolar.
That makes sense now. Okay.
Which has its own issues.
Right.
Because you do go through waves of like depression. And if you're manic.
Does it feel heavy?
Sometimes, yeah.
Like you would describe the feeling as heavy.
As heavy. And there's been times where I would go be in a bipolar episode. I don't know how you explain it. And I'll be driving down the road and just look over and be like, I want to run my car into that tree and just be done.
We call those intrusive thoughts.
They are.
And we don't act on those.
We don't act on those. We don't. But there was plenty. I mean, there's been several times where I'm just driving and I'm like, I'm done.
So, okay. So I did read
I am on medicine.
There's passive and then there's active suicidal thoughts. So active is kind of like what I went through, where this is what I'm going to do.
You had your plan.
I had my plan.
Yeah, you were going for it.
And then passive suicidal thoughts is where you are okay with something happening. Like, if you're like, if I break my car into that tree and it kills me, I'm okay with that.
That's me.
Yeah. That is a passive suicidal thought. Do seek help. You can text and call 988.
Yes, please.
My coworker, she said when all of this happened, she actually said something to me, and I'd never heard it before. She goes, she was talking about how she had talked to her kids. Because this trickled actually not just into the middle school, but this hit. I think there was like a sibling in high school and a sibling in elementary. So like all the schools wound up kind of having to face it. And she said something to her kids, and she explained to them the 5-second rule. And she was like, I'm like, okay, what? And she was like, do you know what the 5-second rule is? And I was like, I know what it is with food.
I know, right?
I'm like, I know. I don't see how this relates. Do explain. And but she did. So she said the 5-second rule is if you can't change it, if the person you're talking to, if they can't change it in 5 seconds, then you don't say it. That means like if I'm going to make a comment to Stephanie about her weight, she can't change that in 5 seconds. So I don't say it. Don't make the comment.
Right.
But if you have something in your teeth,
then I can be like,
you can run and fix that within 5 seconds.
I get that. Oh, I like that a lot.
That's the 5-second rule. Don't say something to somebody that they can't change, because you don't know what they're struggling with. You have no idea.
And it could be something you think is stupid, or I can't believe that's so ridiculous that triggers you, but it does, because I'm pretty sure you got stuff that triggers you that doesn't trigger me. Well, bam. Or things that bother you that don't bother me, or why? Because we're our own individual people with our own issues.